Hello, Flex families, and welcome to 7th grade language arts. I am Mrs. Huber, and I am excited to give you a tour of our course. So, a little bit about me first. I started teaching in 2003. I've always taught in Beaverton, and this is my third year at Flex. I have a Master's of Education from the University of Portland. So I thought we'd start with just how to navigate the course. From your child's dashboard or from your Canvas login, you want to go ahead and go to our course. And then I recommend going to modules. And in modules, that is where you will find a lot of really important information. Starting with the weekly planners. This is what is recommended for your student to complete this week. So for this week, you'll notice it includes our live course sessions with a link to that session. If there are any announcements, your child should be reading every day as much as humanly possible, plus 5 minutes. And then there is also a list of the assignments and the learning to complete each day. These might be helpful to look over at the beginning of the week and help your child make a to-do list of what the assignments are and what they should be working on. So when you go back out to modules, you will find that we have different units. S1 Unit A, that's semester 1 Unit A. This was our first unit. And I just want to show you some ways that you can quickly see what your child has done or what they need to still do. So first of all, in the upper right-hand corner of each module, whether it's opened or closed, you may see a little circle. The circle means that they have started this unit, but they have not finished it. If it's a green check there, it means they have finished it. And if there is no icon there at all, but it says complete all items, it means they have not yet started that module. Next, on the right side of assignments that need to be submitted, if there is a check mark, that means that they have done it and they have submitted it. If there is a circle, either a red one or a clear one, that just means that they still need to do that assignment. And if there is nothing there, that indicates that it is a learning task. And so there is nothing to be submitted, but they should definitely read through that information, take notes on that information. That's how they do the learning to be able to submit the assignments. On the left side, some items have a video camera on them. These are parts of our in-class sessions, either from either of our two classes, and they just are what we did in class to do the learning to do those parts of the module. So this one is for A1 to A4. So if your child was having trouble doing one of those, I would recommend they go look at that and see if that is some help to them. And finally, the other thing I want to point out to you is underneath each assignment, there is a date. That is the suggested due date. Students are not penalized for turning things in after the due date, but it is much easier if they stay on track with their assignments and they get things in so they don't pile up at the end. By the end of the semester, students are expected to have completed all of the coursework that is listed in the modules. So what are we learning in language arts? Our specific targets are listed in the syllabus, which can be found in the link on our homepage. But generally, we work on reading. We work on reading a lot. We work on writing, and then we have discussions and presenting information. There are synchronous and asynchronous opportunities. For the synchronous opportunities, there is also always an alternate asynchronous option. So what can you do to help your child be successful? Well, first, encourage them to read a lot. And why? Because it exposes them to new vocabulary, it helps them in their writing, their thinking, their relationships, it can build empathy. There's so many things that reading helps with. Encourage your child to read daily, maybe even read with them. Encourage them to take notes in all of their classes. We have been talking a lot about a reading notebook, but I think it is very important that kids, no matter what their class, they're taking notes on the learning assignments, they're taking notes on the daily classes so that they can remember and go back to those later. Encourage them to come to the Zoom sessions. This is a time for us to interact, for them to ask questions, and maybe even a time for me to say, hey, can I help you with this assignment? And we can work on things together. Everything in language arts is revisable, so encourage them to complete and revise all of their work for the grades that they would like to earn and for better learning. The other thing that I would really encourage you to help them with is to organize their time and their study space. This means making sure they have supplies, notebooks, books, pens, sticky notes, all of those things are important. Having a schedule and ideally a printed schedule of what they do when, maybe helping them set some timers, because a lot of kids have told me, like, I got distracted reading and I forgot to do this, which is fine. Help them out. And then help them make a to-do list of the daily tasks that they need to complete, what learning needs to be done. This is really hard for kids at home, and your help and support is really appreciated. So how can you see how your child is doing? So other than the quick glance in modules to see what they've completed and not completed, you can click on grades in Canvas and it will bring up their scores on all the assignments. Items marked as late are not graded down because they're late. They are simply, it simply automatically marks that if they turn it in after the suggested due date. If it's marked as missing, that means that they haven't turned it in yet. And then you can also see their scores on individual assignments. So even though this was turned in, this student earned 0 out of 3. And so that would mean maybe they want to look at that again and see how they did. The dash means they haven't turned it in yet. There is no grade for it. The 0 also means just their score on it is 0 because they haven't turned it in. Otherwise, it might say proficient or highly proficient, or GR or CI is for the behavior learning targets. So you can just see 3 out of 4, 2 out of 3, 3 out of 4. All right, so that's all I have tonight. I am so glad that we can work together to support your child's learning and growth. Please feel free to contact me anytime with questions or needing to talk over what your child is doing. I am here for you. The best way to reach me is at Kimberly_Huber at beaverton.k12.or.us. All right, bye now.